So far we have created the buckets, upload data, create project, you have imported the new flow model, you have added components and parameters, you have published the project, which is basically creating the training definition. Now let's go ahead and build the experiment and train your model. So we are on the same page. I have not changed anything. So as you can see here, it says train it in an experiment. Now obviously you can click here and this will take you to that specific page, or you can actually go to the binary classification project, and from the assets you have a category called experiments, and you can click on the new experiment. For me, I'm going to go from here, so click on that. So there you go. So this is the define experiment details. So keep a tab on the naming convention as you're going to try this a couple times. So go for it. MNIST live exp 1. So that means this is experiment 1. You can also give a description, of course. You have to associate this with the machine learning service since you only have one. This is already associated for you. Here you need to select the storage bucket for storing training source files and storage bucket for storing results. So say select. You already have a connection, so go for it. Let's say for me, new connection, and basically select the appropriate bucket. For me, it's going to be training D. For you, this could be anything, or it could be training data bucket. So I'm going to go with training D, and I'm going to say select. So basically, these are the two buckets which you previously created, one for training and one for results. So say select again, and this time you're going to select the results bucket. For me, this one is training R. So say select, that's about it. You're all good on this side. Now on the right hand side is where you're going to associate the training definition and choose the GPU. This is an important step. So click on the add training definition, and since we already have a definition, you can also upload your definition if you have downloaded it. In this case, since we are going to use the same definition which you created here, we're going to be in the existing training definition. So this is the list. I have a lot of definitions here. So for us, this is going to be MNIST live I1, which we just created. So click on that. And then this is the compute plan. So click on the compute plan and select the half NVIDIA Tesla K80 GPU. So this is what we're going to be using for your computing power, and the hyperparameter is going to be none. So say select. So this is what we're going to be creating, or this is the experiment which you're going to be running. So you have the experiment details, name, you have the different buckets and the machine learning service selected, and you have chosen the GPU for you, and that's about it. Now say create and run. So now what's going to happen is that your training is going to get started. So you basically, your model is going through a training process. So this takes about, let's say, 2 to 5 minutes. So you just have to sit back and relax. There you go. Your training is queued currently, and this is soon going to be in progress. And then when it is completed, this will actually show up here. So this is actually the timer. It tells you how long it's been happening. So just give it some time, and I would advise not to hit the refresh button. All right, congratulations. Your training has been completed. So it took about 2 minutes and 47 seconds. And there you go. This is the result here. Accuracy is 0.9, losses 1.425, and so on. Now let's take a look inside. So click on it, and this will take you to the monitor. So it shows here in each iteration what happened. So this is basically your epoch. So we have gone through 10 epoch. So let's take a look at the logs. So this is the batch size from the full batch, and you can see that the loss is 7.3, accuracy is just 0.5. So as you can keep coming down, this is epoch 4, right? So as you can see that as the epochs increase, and this is a completely new epoch, you see that now the accuracy is 0.6. So if I go to the next epoch, for example, now the accuracy is 0.7. So finally, on the last epoch, you see that the accuracy has come up to 0.9. So of course you can go higher than this. You can increase the epochs, or you can change other components and parameters. All right, so keep this in mind. So this is going to be 0.9. Now what we're going to do is we're going to save this model. So go back here to MNIST live exp1. So this is where you are. So you go to actions and simply say save model. Now be careful to give a good name so that you can have a nice naming convention, and most importantly version tracking. Right, for me it's going to be MNIST f mod live. This is a rather long name, but I'm doing it for a certain purpose. Let's say save. There you go. So now you will be having this model listed in your models along with your other machine learning models if you have followed the other sections. So you can directly go to that specific page from here, or you can go to assets and then go from models and then pick up this model. For me, I'm going to go from here. So click this link here and this takes you to the model page. Now obviously the next step is to deploy this model. Go to deployments and say add deployment. So give it a good name. So for me it's going to be MNIST live deploy 1. I'm going to go for I1. And that's it. Say save. So this is going to save your deployment, and you can see the status here. This is initializing, and eventually you'll know what happens with this. Deployment is successful. Very nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to test it. So go inside the deployment. So these are all your details of the deployment, and we want to be on the test page. If you're seeing this for too long, you can hit refresh. So there you go. So this is the test page, and here you have to paste your payload. So the format is you have to give the actual values. So the file which we downloaded requires some additional processing. So to make it easy for us, I have a sample of the MNIST number 7 from GitHub. So we're simply going to use this number. So this entire 4D array is basically your handwritten digit 7. So I'm going to give it to you in a nice format which you can download and use. For now we're going to directly copy from here, and we're going to go back to our test page, and I'm simply going to paste it here. So I'm going to show you how this looks like. So it starts with the values with the proper intonation. This is basically the number 7. So let's go and say predict, and let's see how this one reacts. So there you go. The prediction is here. It's rather fast, and if you can see, the 7 which is about here is 1. So the convolutional network model is very confident about the input being 7. Now if you take a look at the other numbers, these are all e power minus 15. So it's pretty sure that these are not 7. So far, great going. So you have built your convolutional neural network on IBM Watson. You have trained your model on the MNIST data, and it is put to test and it's working just fine. Great going.